The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Struggling Artist Record Club recap for May of June. Shit! Almost had it. For May of 2025. May of June. What is wrong with me? I was such a good intro, right?
It was getting there, dude. I was like, look, I'm not going to drop anything this time. I make sure to get my drink, that swig in before it started.
Oh, man. That's all right. We're keeping it in. With me, as always, Chris Chavez, part of the Struggling Artist community team.
Family?
I don't know what
team,
to call family.
Street team. I mean, I'm in Buffalo, so like, right? It's not like I'm in-house. What would you call me outside of that? Satellite? Part of your satellite?
I don't know.
Production crew?
Twice removed. Yeah. So this month we are talking about the Kilograms debut LP.
You're just jumping right into it. All right.
Beliefs and Thieves. No, I'm just.
Yeah.
Right, before we get into that, Chris Chavez, how are you?
How
are you?
I'm great.
Great.
How are you?
Good, man. I'm excited.
Dude,
I am wearing my I don't know,
Hawaiian shirt.
Sure, yeah.
I'm loving it. I love the summer. I'm loving the warmth already. I'm loving the the days of sun and heat.
It's been hot, dude. My car said it was 103 out when I was driving home today.
Yeah, we got in the 90s today, but
yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm not going to complain.
Today we're talking about this guy right here. Hold on, where are we? The Kilograms, Beliefs and Thieves debut record. Basically a super band. Super group.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, so the Kilograms.
Educate me, because I'll tell you, I didn't know until you told me. I didn't realize these guys existed until I got this, and then you told me. So let's let those folks at home who aren't aware, may not have read them read out.
So the Kilograms is a group formed by Sammy K. And Joe Gittleman, the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones. And he had another project too, and I can't think of the name of it right now, and it's really upsetting me because I have the record right over there, and I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't want to say it wrong. So, so Sammy K, phenomenal musician. Joe Gittleman, phenomenal musician. Michael McDermott from the Bouncing Souls and Joan Jett is in this band. And Jay Duckworth of Newport Secret 6 is also in this band. Now, this is for us punk rock kids. This is definitely like a super group, right?
A dream super group.
Yeah. These guys are having a lot of fun. I talked to Sammy recently on the podcast about the band, about what they're doing. They're out there having fun. They do a handful of shows and they go home. Then they get back together and do a handful of more. They're having fun. They're they're getting into the van again. And as Sammy was saying, like, he's like the youngest guy, at 35 in this band. And like, it's cool to get back in the van with a bunch of guys who, are at the points in their lives. They're making music just to have fun with it, and
enjoy it. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, McDermott is a traveling drummer for Joan Jett. Like, So
this was their first full length, right? Because they put out an EP.
Yes.
It looks like in
Yes.
February 2024. Put out a couple
they were
singles
very
in
busy,
September.
right? They dropped like an EP and 2 singles, and then within a year this dropped. So like they've kind of emerged on the scene and just went headfirst into it, So
Yeah, this was the first I've heard of their stuff. It wasn't until after this that I found out they had the EP and singles. 'Cause I went and got them.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so this was a good one. Let's get into I'm going to do the readout first.
Get the readout.
Get the readout first. So, friends, I promise you the wait was worth it. There was a little bit of wait because of tariffs. Shipping stuff. Yeah, getting stuff from like Canada was a difficult for a couple weeks there. That happened with the record before that was with Scotty Saints too. So I promise you the wait was worth it this month. The Kilograms is a star-studded band with members of the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones, Joan Jett, the Bouncing Souls, Newport Secret Six, and more. This album, Beliefs and Thieves, and this band are something special. It blends elements of first wave ska, reggae, punk rock, and calypso. That's right. Read that again. If this album isn't your summertime anthemic soundtrack, then you hate summertime. And I will stand by that. This is the summer album. I'm telling everyone that right now. Like I am listening to this every day during the summer. And I'll get into more of it when we talk. Reviews. Yeah. But I just wanted to throw that out there that like this is the summertime album. Like
I have some things to say. Yeah.
Cool. So we're gonna start with. Let's see. I've got a.
You want to go on a journey first, or are you gonna read the?
No,
you're
we're
gonna
gonna
read
go
yours
through
first.
these. You'll do the journey, and then you and I will discuss. So,
all right.
So I got Jerky Bill over here on Threads. He wrote the Struggling Artist podcast, Struggling Artist POTN. Punk of the Month Club. Yeah. Released last month was the Kilograms Beliefs and Thieves. It was absolutely great. So much I had to order more. The Sweet Splatter 7. So he ordered like the 7-inch in I think that's all else they have for physical media music. But he liked it so much he had to go and snag it. So that was pretty cool. Thank you, Jerky Bill. You're always I always like reading your stuff. So thank you for doing that. And we have another one from our member Nate. Sup, Trev? Loving this month's record. The Kilograms definitely puts me in a summertime mood. Old Dogs is a banger. Yes, it is. Not sure this is all of them, but it might have a couple others tucked in as but here's my he sent me a picture of like he has like a section of records just for the record club between Get Punk and Now.
Wow.
Yeah. Nate's also hit the
that's kind of a cool way to do your records. I
never thought about that. Yeah.
I might have to go do that, dude.
He's got a couple golden tickets. He's won a golden ticket here and there between Mark and myself.
Nice,
too,
dude.
So. Absolutely the best record club since BMG Record Club. Keep on rocking. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it, buddy.
Better than BMG.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Since BMG. That is awesome, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have anything else. Like a couple people that are part of the record club that I've talked to, like a couple people. I'm not gonna mention their names because they didn't like send me something official, and I don't want to like put them out there like that. But
and you misquote them.
They had said stuff like you're absolutely right. Like this is something special. Like this is something special, and I appreciate everybody who gives us their input when it comes to these because I love to be able to not just share my input and your input, but everyone's input. With that said, we have Dave's input. I want to preface this like we always do by saying Dave writes a story, a fictional story.
Fictional.
It's a fictional story, and then he gives us the review at the end.
Yes.
So with that said, Chris Chavez is taking the reins on this one this month. So let's hear it.
We should start doing where we have like sound effects and music, Foley work to this. Who do we think we could get hired on to do Foley work, background music? Do you have a sound effect that sounds like you're sitting in a car driving? I don't think your Satan voice is gonna work out for this.
No. All right, so we're gonna fade in to the story time.
Yo, we should do it like this. I'll go, where's Dave? And then ring. Dave's not here.
Hey, you ready?
Yeah, here we go. Ready?
All right. Hold on.
Let's
hold
go.
on. Ready? All right.
The 30-minute drive to work was Sam's favorite part of the day because he could listen to whatever kind of music he wanted. For the past few weeks, it had been nothing but the new Kilograms album. It was sure to be his top album of 2025. He absolutely loved their reggae, punk rock, and ska sounds. When Sam got to work, the depression started immediately. His boss was completely obsessed with money and wanted his employees to be 100% focused on work, so he played white noise loudly at all times.
Wait, hold on 1 second. I didn't know I had that. I have to hold you 1 second here. All right, so Sam is a character in this story.
Correct.
And it sounds like he's listening to the Kilograms album. So this isn't like stories of the past where it's you know like Chelsea's from Stressed Dolls.
No.
This is different. This isn't okay.
Well,
This is
I don't know, dude. I never read this. We'll find out. We're gonna find out together, my friend. We'll be on a journey together.
all right. Here we go. Hold on. All right.
Yeah, you hit the horn to stop, and then the sprinkling to bring us back in. He believed that the white noise helped his employees stay focused on their jobs. If there was normal music or silence, the employees would get distracted, but with white noise, that wouldn't happen. With white noise, you don't daydream or think about what you'll do after work. You just focus on your job. Sam's second favorite part of the day was when his boss took his lunch break. That's when Sam would defy the rules by turning off the white noise and playing actual music. There was a new girl in his office named Lorelei, and he wanted to impress her with his musical taste, so he put on the new Kilograms album, Beliefs in Thieves. Everyone in the office, including Lorelei, seemed less stressed and were bobbing their heads and tapping their toes to the mellow, catchy music. Sam bought all the different vinyl color variants and put them on his desk, hoping Lorelei would be impressed. It was too soon for him to really talk to her without seeming like a weird stalker. So for now, all he could do was hope like she liked this amazing band called the Kilograms. A week later, she was wearing a short shirt, and Sam saw a tattoo of a heart with an anchor through it. It drove him crazy. He had to talk to her now. The Kilograms' drummer had been in the Bouncing Souls for 15 years, and that too was the Bouncing Souls symbol. It had to be fate that she worked there. He dreamed of them getting married in Asbury Park, with Pete Steinkoff of Bouncing Souls, who produced the Kilograms album, being at the wedding after Pete produced Sam's future band, which he hoped he'd to be in. After hearing the amazing production on the Kilograms album, he knew Pete would be the man for the job. Of course, he would need to be in a band for this to happen. Soon, he told himself. Then he noticed a Mighty Mighty Boss Tones tattoo on her arm. Another favorite band of his, and Joe Gittleman from the Kilograms had been a staple in that band for decades. This was his dream girl. All his dreams were cut short when his boss came back early from lunch and heard the Kilograms instead of white noise. He flipped out and enforced a new policy. No more white noise over speakers, only through headphones and loud. Sam was furious, as was everyone else. It was unbearable and counterproductive. It was hard to talk to clients on the phone with that loud noise. It was tough to concentrate on Excel files and everything else with white noise so loud in his headphones. The next day, a new time clock was installed, but his boss, wanting to punish the employees even more, made them use spit. Sam spat at the new time clock, hoping it would register his name in an empty spot. Saliva splashed against the plastic, clinging and trickling down to the floor with the rest of the workers' spit forming a puddle. It reminded him of clouds that had given up, and that's how he felt while working for this jerk. How did his boss even get their DNA to do this? He hated him even more now. His daily prison ended, and he was miserable that he still hadn't had a date or even talked to Lorelei. As he left the building, the fall foliage left a vivid impression on his eyes. Those electric colors, so bright, so mesmerizing. There was a park nearby where he could continue enjoying the visual feast. He soon got lost in the East Coast's best season. The colors reminded him of dive bars burning through a rainy night. They popped and rumbled like fireworks in his brain, burning brightly against the dull black and white buildings. Sam reached for his phone to find the perfect music to accompany him, and of course, it was the Kilograms. He closed his eyes and an hour later woke up. Was he asleep? What just happened? He had a strong vision of what he needed to do. Usually this happened when he was on strong drugs, but he was sober. He knew what had to be done. He said goodbye to the Technicolor show and got in his car to pick up a sinister ingredient for his new plan. Oh man, here we go. Strap in.
All right. What? This is a fictional story. I don't know where this is going, but I do know. I wanted just to point that out before we have some kind of domestic terrorism thing talking on here. I don't know. So, all right.
So,
Let me know. Are you ready?
All right. Yep.
All right, ready?
Rewind a little. He said goodbye to his Technicolor show and got in his car to pick up a sinister ingredient for his new plan. Dilapidated buildings lined the streets, and general mayhem ensued when a person with a pumpkin on his head ran down the street, chased by another wielding a bat. The bat hit the pumpkin, causing shrapnel to explode everywhere. Holy shit, was that his friend Eddie, whom he had come to visit? Eddie walked over and said, "Sup, sucka MC," as if what just happened was perfectly normal. Eddie and Sam had been best friends in college, but had chosen different paths after that. They still saw each other occasionally at punk shows, but mostly their relationship had deteriorated into a business transaction. They briefly discussed some upcoming shows and then went their separate ways. Sam got home and the party began. Beer and meth, lots of it. Instantly, he was taken far from sobriety. He listened to all his favorite bands in case he ended up in jail after what he was about to do. Mostly, though, he listened to the Kilograms. A loud noise woke his dog, who started barking frantically. The noise was Sam throwing beer cans against the wall in reckless abandon. He spray painted on the wall, "Anarchy at the Flying J. Now the boss is deaf. I did my best. I did this for you, Lorelei." A flood of chemicals ran rampant through his body. He scheduled an Uber and arrived at his boss's house at 3 a.m. He broke in, tied up his boss, and punctured both his ear canals, causing enough damage to make him deaf. He hoped at least he was in such a mangled state. It's possible he could have injured his brain as well. His boss assumed someone at work had done this, so he no longer cared about the white noise, and since he couldn't hear at all, it didn't matter what was played. His boss had crossed so many lines at work, especially with the DNA and time clock spit, that he didn't investigate who caused him to go deaf. He just assumed he deserved it for being a rotten boss. Sam made sure the Jesus Christ. Sam made sure the Kilograms was playing all the time. He noticed Lorelei constantly singing along and finally found enough courage to ask her out. Years later, after they were married, she told him she would have rejected him before the boss's ear removal, but after that she realized just how bad he and the Kilograms were. Oh, God. Hold on. Years later, after they were married, she told him that she would have rejected him before the boss's ear removal. But after that, she realized just how badass he was and the Kilograms were. Not bad.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the story of Sam and Lorelei.
That's the end of the fictional story about some guy named Sam
Who went after the boss's ears just so he could play music for Lorelei and marry her later on. And she's just like, thank God you did this to the boss because we would not have been together otherwise.
Yeah. You know, I think I'm missing somebody that's in the band, and I can't think off the top of my head who it is. I think there's a fifth member, so
That's
I
okay.
apologize for that. Anyway, Dave, thanks. Oh, wait, we're not finished. That was just the story, right?
That was just a story.
All right, let's get his review.
And now for the review. I had this record for a few weeks before Trev sent out copies. Usually I check with Trev before pre-ordering a record he might include in the club, but I was so excited about this one that I forgot. Luckily, a friend really likes the Kilograms, so I was able to gift it to him.
Good.
As you can tell from my silly story, I love this album. I listened to it nonstop for about 2 weeks straight when it arrived. It's the perfect mix of reggae, ska, punk rock, and calypso. It's the kind of album you can and will want to listen to over and over.
Yep.
Is it the best album of 2025? Definitely top 5. Sometimes I have to tell myself, okay, stop listening. You have tons of other records you should listen to as well. The two different vocalists work great. They sound just different enough that you can tell if it's Sammy Kaye or Joe Gittleman. I would like to know who sings vocals on Hoodie's song, as it doesn't sound like either of them.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't want to speak out of turn, but if you listen to Struggling with the Kilograms, episode we did with Sammy, he says who it is. It may be Jay Duckworth. I don't remember, but yeah. Go back and listen, Dave.
After 3 albums from the Struggling Artists Record Club with no lyric sheets, we finally get one here. Quick note on why that's important. I wasn't feeling a few songs. Saddest Song or the last one, Old Dog. So I studied the lyric sheet like a kid in school, learned every lyric, and ended up loving those songs as well. So please keep including lyric sheets, bands. The artwork and colors of the record were great. They even included pens, stickers, and a signed postcard. What more could you ask of an what more could you ask of an album? There was an extra a letter in there. My only complaint, and it's not even a complaint, is who sings on Hoodie Song. Thanks again to Trev for procuring awesome sounds for our club.
Dave is very good. I've noticed some themes in Dave's stories. Mm-hmm. One is working for the man. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One is drugs, violence,
music having some sort of magical component to a lot of what's happening in his stories.
And he still managed. I gave him fucking lyrics, and he still managed to bitch about it. I don't know.
That's amazing. I don't think he's bitching. I think he was just saying, "Hey, that was awesome."
I know.
But I do have to say, though, and I will disagree with him on one thing, is immediately on my very first listen, I loved Hard Lines and Old Dogs. Did he say Hard Lines was one of them, or no? Saddest Songs.
Saddest Songs.
Saddest Songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm gonna start on my thoughts on this before you talk about it, because you wrote your readout, and I said this before on the show, and if not, it stands to be a reminder. I don't read your readout. I really don't. Not until after I've listened.
No,
I don't like to read it ahead of time. I don't want to get any kind of influence.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't want to have an influence in terms of like, what does this make me feel like? What am I hearing? What am I experiencing with this? Mm-hmm. So when I put this on, I'm going to tell you, as soon as it starts playing, that very first track.
Oh yeah. Did Trev send this?
I picked up the needle and stopped because it was like 15 seconds. That opening music. You know what I mean? And I picked it up and I'm like, hang on a second. I had to check. Was this supposed to be on 45? Am I playing this wrong? Right? I was like, nope. Okay, it's 33. Let me play again, drop the needle again. And I let it go. And I was like, and then it kicks in. It kicks into that ska, right? I was like, okay.
It's 33? It is 33, right?
Yeah. But then it kicks into ska, right? On that opening track, like that opening, like little kind of reggae or more like islandy music feel kind of thing. Yeah, is that what that is? That like when that opens, I was like, okay. And then ska kicks in. I'm like, this is what I was expecting. All right, now I'm listening to it. I'm hearing the music, right? And then song after song. Yeah, man. That was so catchy. I can't stop singing it. Like the melody to that song is so mad catchy. But yeah, man, there's so many songs on this album that are so good. I have to say, man, as I was sitting here and Hard Lines hits, the last song on the first side, I was just like, God damn it, this is such a fucking good song. It's so good. It just sounds so good. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to have to do this. A few days later, we had a gorgeous sunny day here. Aaron and I are in the backyard, just sitting in our Adirondack chairs under the umbrella. The dogs are lounging in the sun. We pulled out the little dog pool for them. I mean, we're just chilling. Gorgeous day. And I had this album playing from
I'd be
Spotify.
sitting in that dog pool if that was on.
Well, sometimes we drag the Adirondack chairs to it and put our feet in them, and we just let our feet lay in them. But dude, I'm listening to this, and I was like, I'll be honest, I'm playing this all summer. So it's funny you said that. It's funny you wrote it. It's funny people are talking about it that way, because to me, this is so perfect summer music. Bring this to the beach. Bring this to the park. Bring this to your backyard. This is all outdoors, relaxing. And even the slower songs still have a kind of like chill, relaxed island vibe to it. And then there's the ska aspect, which you know, it feels like, okay, don't forget about ska, punk's, you know, fun cousin, right? Like this is still a rocking album, not just a laying around album. You know, it's great, dude.
And like Sammy said in the episode I did with him, like it isn't a ska record. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It just happens to have these hints of
elements. Yes.
Yeah, you know. So
yes, I'll tell you this. This is one of the absolute very few of the struggling artists out vinyl, and this isn't about what the quality of what you pick. It's just that when you send it, I typically will listen to it as soon as I had my stuff running again. I'll listen to it and then put it on the shelf and maybe pull it out here and there, right? I think the last time I did this was KCUF's 100 Poses, where it was just constantly playing, dude. This is still there. Like it's on, that little now playing thing you got me. I have it on the wall, and it's on there. Like I'm still playing this. I love this album. It's so good.
It is so good.
Oh,
It
good.
is so good.
Oh,
And like
good.
it's like it's so when I wrote that like this band and this album is something special, like I truly mean that. Now, there's a lot of bands that are special out there, and there's a lot of members in this band that were in special bands, like really special bands, but like they do something that the Mighty Mighty Bosstones did. And it's just the Mighty Mighty Bosstones was like, it's the only third wave ska band you'll ever hear me listen to. And it's because they did their own thing and they didn't care about what their sound was going to be like. They just wanted to make something that they all loved. And that's exactly what this is. This has elements of every person in this band. And you know, from like, I mean, even like you can go as far as saying like there's Americana in here, you know what I mean? Like there's all these elements of rock and roll mixed with these sounds, and like it's just an amazing sound. And there is no band that sounds like the Kilograms.
It's awesome.
There's no one that sounds like them. And I'm somebody who like, as you know this, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I know you know this. Like, I grew up listening to a lot of like dance hall reggae. Like, I love reggae music. And like old like first wave ska and like in you know rock steady stuff. Like, I like that stuff. You know what I mean? And like, I didn't really get into the whole like whatever like third wave ska is now. It's just not for me. You know what I mean? And that's fine. It doesn't have to be for me, right? But what I'm saying is like what these guys are doing, like they're just doing their own thing, and they're adding all these older sounds, and they're adding all these like I mean, this song just makes me I just want to sit on a beach with an umbrella drink. That's I want to be bartending on the beach listening to this. I want to do everything that you do in the summertime to this album. To the point, like, I want to sweat to this. Like, I'm rolling around today with the windows down in my car, not having the AC on, blasting this album.
Hell yeah, dude.
And the soul that is put into this album, like, no pun intended with McDermott. And, you know, the soul that is put into this album. Like, I said this to Sammy when he was on, and we kind of went over the whole record. That's why I'm not getting too much into it. But Old Dogs, like, that song, when it ends, I'm like, I can't wait for the next thing. I feel like that song was put there at the end of this record to be like, there's more coming. And it's because like, just because like it, you know, the song's kind of about like, I mean, just listen to it. You know what I mean? Like the song, you got to listen to the song Old Dogs to kind of understand what I'm saying, I think. But like, you just know, like, it was like a very good, like a not a cliffhanger, but like kind of like that in like a movie. You know what I mean?
And what a like the track listing and the way they curate this, just the way the flow of this album goes is so good.
So you have three different lead vocals throughout this whole record. Mostly is Sammy or Joe, and then again, like, cause one or two songs have somebody else, and like it's just like, oh, it's so good.
It really is.
I don't even know how else to, like, you know, it's just everything about it, like everything. I bought a test pressing because I was like, I need to have this. Like, this is something that needs to like blow up. You know,
it's
like,
great.
This deserves to be on the radios. This deserves, like, especially right now during the summer and with the heat and like with all the shit going on. Like,
yeah, we need music like this to escape sometimes.
Yeah, you know, and even though the content of some of this stuff is like, it's on par, but like,
yeah,
it's
the
okay.
sound.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just gonna it's still gonna make you smile. It's still gonna give you hope, and that's the big thing I think about Old Dogs too. Is like, it gives you hope. You know, like this, like it. Yeah. So I mean, these guys knocked it out of the park. I mean, how can you not with who's on this? But you know, I can't wait for more from them. And I love these guys, and I love Sammy to death too. Like, Sammy's a great guy. So, you know, the fact that like, and just to see how excited he was when we talked about like them going out and things like that. You know what I mean? Going out on the road together, and So
I'll say this for people who aren't signed up for the record club, like, and you listen to these episodes, if you get this sense of like, damn, I'm missing out. Like, you are missing out. Fucking sign up. All right. Here's the other side of it. You know, people who are listening to this who aren't part of the record club, and that's just not their thing. Maybe they're not vinyl people. Go listen to this album regardless. Go listen to it on Spotify. Go listen to it on Bandcamp. Go listen to it wherever you can, because this album is so. Trust me, this is summer music. This should be part of your soundtrack for summer 2025.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it is. Like, it is like,
It's so good.
It's like, it blows
It's
me
so
away,
good.
man. It blows me away.
Hell yeah.
So, well, thank you
Love
for the kind
it.
words, Chris. Thank you for the kind words, everybody who wrote in and talked about the record. Thank you to the Kilograms for letting us, have the record in the record club. It was much much appreciated.
Keep making more music too, man, because we want to hear more.
Yeah.
We want to hear more. The people want it.
That's right. Hold on. The people, we want it. We want it. All right. Well, listen, head over to strugglingartistrecordclub.com. Join up. Let's go. You still have time with this drops. You still have time to join for July. So we'll be back next month in July to talk about June's record, but you have time to sign up for July still. So head over to strugglingartistrecordclub.com and join today. All right. We'll see you guys.